Hello everybody, I am Tom and you are watching me play The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Last episode we were looking around for Dandelion, going around to essentially just find a bunch of women. The reason being that Dandelion consorts with lots of women, and we're trying to figure out where he is. And in doing so we were looking through his books to try and find out where he was. I have two more to find. Marabella, I'm going to do next because I believe it's the shorter of the two. I think Marabella's the teacher at the school, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong.
Spare a copper or two.
Yeah, this looks like it. Yeah, here we go.
Excuse me, I'm looking for Marabella.
I am she. Wait outside, class is in session.
I'll wait.
It won't take long. It turns out he'll not come after
Grey like my grandma.
yeah.
I do love the way that they do children. Excuse me. I do love the way that they do children in this game. Whereas they still act like children, but they're in a much darker kind of setting. So like they kind of, the way they're talking about like there he was saying, you don't die from rats. And then another one said, yeah you do, the other day I saw a witch hunter call a man a rat, and then he killed him. It's kind of like a very simplistic childlike way of looking at things, but it's also highly dark, which is kind of funny. Hey Marabella.
Now can we talk?
Yes. What do you want?
I know you saw Dandelion recently.
Oh yes. Longest afternoon of my life.
He read you his poems.
No. You peruse the illustrated guide to fungi.
Maybe... No. Won't even try to guess why he wanted to do that.
Mold. That was his interest. When his hand abandoned my knee to point at a figure of penicillium, I knew the fire between us had died. Permanently.
Found a poem Dandelion wrote about you. Portrayed you as an unusually talented individual.
Really? Did he mention my poetry? Horses have always fascinated me. I've always longed to extol their noble beauty. Did you see any of my work at Dandelion's? Mere exercises, true, but I'd be curious to know what you thought of them.
No. Didn't see any.
Gee up! A snakely whip rose skyward. Gee-haw! Crack! She reined the beast in. The stallion danced betwixt her thighs. Lather bathed its chinny chin.
Sorry, don't know much about poetry.
I believe, if I remember correctly, the poem we found that Dandelion wrote about her was... It did say that she was incredibly talented, but that her poems were absolute not a shithouse.
See Dandelion after the fungus incident?
No. I even considered granting him another chance. His heart of hearts is pure gold. He simply needs a bit more discipline in his life. But he never came back to see me. So I thought if it's done, it's done.
She's actually quite accurate there.
Thanks for your help. Farewell.
Is that Dandelion does have a heart of gold, he just needs more discipline. That's a very accurate way of describing Dandelion, to be fair. Alright, now the final one. This one is by far the longest out of all of them, which is why I chose to do it last. That makes it easier, because it actually takes you out of Novigrad. It takes you out to an estate. Also, we get to see a character we've met before.
White one. Take a gander at it.
This Baronet's La Vallette's villa.
Shouldn't interest you. The Baroness don't mingle with just anyone.
Don't worry. I'm here to see your chambermaid, Molly.
Out of the way. Baroness is riding out. Be gone.
Geralt of Rivia at my doorstep? Surely this is no chance encounter?
Greetings, Baroness. Greetings, General. You're right. I'm here for a reason.
There's no mistaking you. But for etiquette's sake, Mary Louisa Lavalette, an Imperial General and a Witcher meet. And know each other. Surprising.
Yeah, we had an opportunity to, talk when the Emperor summoned me to Vizima.
Had you run afoul of Var Emrys? No. You'd be long dead if that were so. It seems then that you share some interests.
Smart woman.
But I shan't question you out of doors. Will you accept my invitation? Tell me what brings you here.
Looking for a girl named Molly. Heard she works here.
My maidservant. I'm afraid she's currently at the home of my dear friend Patricia Vegelbud.
Perhaps Geralt could accompany us. He could speak with Molly at the races.
Is that something you'd consider, Witcher? Care to partake of some sophisticated diversion?
Well, if Molly'll be there.
On our way, then.
Sophisticated diversion is always it's a lovely turn of phrase. I believe there's a horse race here, and I haven't played The Witcher in like 3 weeks. I don't want to fail a horse race. And I will be repeating, I will save and quit if I fail the horse race. I'm gonna win, goddammit. I have to win. You just have to win every race, that's just how things go. This is an interestingly low load time. The Witch is usually pretty good for load times. I have it on my, one of my SSDs, which should help, theoretically.
We've arrived.
My father owned a similar estate in Bruges. As a young girl, I'd travel there often to ride.
Shall we look at the horses? Do you like horses, Geralt?
I guess so. Called every horse I've had Roach.
The grey mare is Cantarella, sired by Cahir, the champion from Vol.
Gray's a nice color. For horses, too.
My coin's on the black stallion, Nemrod, purest Nilfgaardian stock.
Surprised it didn't salute you, General. Know anything about the chestnut or the bay?
The chestnut is Thunderbolt, a pure-blood Retanian, gallant steed, but too headstrong for my taste, difficult to control. And the bay hails from Zerrikania. Lord de Volte acquired him recently. I know little about him, though Zerrikanians are reputed to have incredible stamina.
Both the people and the horses. It's weird to me that this is the dark yellow one.
Is Molly a horse?
Pardon?
I did come here to see Molly, after all.
Patience, Witcher. She ought to arrive soon. I asked Molly to join us as soon as she was done with her chores. She shouldn't be long now.
All depends what you asked her to do, milady. But I don't really have a choice. I'll wait.
That's the Geralt I know. Try and be polite, but somehow being more rude in doing so.
Seem to know your horses.
No is not the word. Morvran's a true expert.
I find them to be far more honest than men. Must say, I'm curious how you manage in the saddle, Witcher.
Mostly just try to stay in it.
What would you say to a little race?
Not what I came here for.
Don't make me beg, Witcher. Tell you what, win, and I shall give you my finest saddle. Made in Nilfgaard proper of beautifully tanned leather.
Mine's better. I'm still gonna race you though.
Why not? Wouldn't mind seeing if your knowledge of horses translates into riding skills.
Well said. So, which steed do you choose, Witcher?
Zerrikanian.
Heard tales of Zerrikanian horses. I'll ride the bay.
I'll not ride with you, but I shall bet on a steed. Nemrod will win, no matter the rider.
Cantarella for me, then. I see no point in delaying this. Let's begin.
Horse ready!
Don't spare the horse!
Come on.
When you're doing these races, by the way, make sure you keep an eye on the minimap, because it is easy to run off the course. I believe that Vorhir was being pretty accurate when he was talking about their various attributes. Like the Zerrikanian is slightly slower but has better stamina. Speaking of which...
The speed, the rush of air.
And then the other ones, some of them are faster, but they have less stamina.
The horse.
Also, I got a fast travel point, which is quite nice. You can do a pretty good job of just blocking the horses that you don't want in your way.
Let's go.
I think I'm like right at the end though, so I'm just gonna run. Yeah. Easy enough.
What a thrill! A beautiful victory!
Thanks.
For one for whom every horse is a roach, you carry yourself exquisitely in the saddle. My congratulations. That is yours.
Now, could I talk to your chambermaid, milady?
Ah, yes, Molly. That is why you came here after all. The portly young woman. That's her.
Speak to her. And you must find us when you're ready to return to Novigrad. We'd be delighted to join you for the journey.
It's really useful actually, they give you like a fast travel back.
Nothing hurts as much as...
I wouldn't call this girl portly. I mean, I guess comparatively to her, but... Like, she's nobility. As far as commoners go, she's... nothing I would call portly.
Lord. Wish to see me?
Call me Geralt.
Geralt! That Geralt! The one Dandelion's rescued time and time again!
That's right. Except it's the other way around. I'm always saving him.
He saved you a couple of
Say it
times.
weren't Dandelion saved you in Flotsam by severing your noose with an arrow from 100 paces?
What? Dandelion couldn't. Never mind.
That
Any
was literally
idea
the
where our
opposite.
Master Archer might be at the moment.
No. Sadly, I haven't got a clue. We've not seen each other in ages. The Baroness don't approve of our acquaintance. Says Dandelion's a good-for-nothing layabout. Can you imagine? But... or maybe his sister could help you. Such a nice girl.
Oh, this poor girl.
Any chance you remember your last conversation with Dandelion?
Course. He came to borrow some coin for a barge.
What? Why'd he need a barge?
To take me on a romantic cruise of the canals by the light of the moon. Said there'd be strawberries and that wine with the bubbles, and he'd sing me arias. But I've not seen him since.
This poor girl.
You do realize Dandelion doesn't have a sister.
Sure he does. Saw him myself. Funny, she don't look like him at all. Blonde, for starters. Maybe they've different fathers.
Mm-hmm. Different mothers, too.
Maybe. But you could see he cares for her. Looks after her. The way he carried her packages and...
These packages, any chance they were trunks, travel cases? And this girl, possibly a Truberitz?
Yes, yes. Now I remember. She's a travelling performer. Sailed in from Kavir. Talented family, innit?
Exceptionally. And very loving as well, I'm sure.
If you only knew.
Oh, Geralt.
Dandelion even wrote a poem for her. To my dearest Calinetta. Or some such. Oh, to have a brother like that.
This poor girl. Not only has clearly Dandelion dumped her for whoever he's with now, he's lied to her to get her money so that he can get a barge. Granted, from my future knowledge, I know that the barge was important, but I feel like he could have got the money somewhere else other than this poor girl who he's tricking and she thinks it's one of the crueler things he's done.
Thanks, Molly.
And I'm sure he doesn't even think about it.
Before you go, I've got a request. Dandelion told me once he'd show me his etchings. but he never did. And I'd so like to see him.
Won't be too hard to convince him. He loves showing off those etchings to anyone he can.
Oh, that's wonderful! Thanks. And good luck to you on your search.
Oh, this poor girl. I feel so bad for her. I think I have to go out the back. I can probably... Let's go. Jump over... No, fine. I'll go the correct direction, I suppose. I vaguely remember there was a dwarf here I could talk to. Maybe I just pulled that out of my ass, but I vaguely remember that there was like a... There was like a dwarf.
Washed your hair lately?
Maybe I made that up. I should, for some reason I remember having a conversation with a dwarf, specifically in this spot. And I may have just misremembered that entirely, but we'll see.
Ah, Geralt, there you are. Shall we return together?
Yeah, let's go.
Gladly. It's a long way to Novigrad. Road ought to seem shorter with some company.
I'd say the same. Well then, let's go.
I do like Wolven. He has some ideas about him marrying Ciri and becoming the new Emperor of Nilfgaard, but, you know, he seems like a nice enough dude. He happily rides with Geralt, which is actually testament to it, really. There's a lot of people who wouldn't ride with a Witcher. Doesn't seem to bother him in the slightest, however. Which speaks to his character.
Thank you for your company.
Likewise. See ya.
Ah, Geralt. What can I do for you?
Big changes afoot in the Empire.
You've no notion? The Emperor summoned you. He only ever summons with reason. It's clear he seeks his daughter.
You know a lot.
I must. I am my father's son.
What's your father got to do with this?
He is close to the Emperor. And knows the opposition. Knows they press for abdication. Ceding the throne to Cirilla, it's the best the Emperor can do. But, as is known, an Empress needs an Emperor at her side. My father will ensure the right man is chosen.
Illustrating my point, as I was saying, he wants the Empire for himself. Although he seems to... That ambition in unto itself isn't necessarily like a bad thing. Also, he's smoking a pipe. I've never noticed him do that. That's kind of weird. But like, he seems like a good man. It's kind of like... How would you put it? I suppose it's that it's... Oh yeah, there's a disappearing Bakoda. It's cynical, I guess, is probably the best way of putting it. Like, oh, I'll marry this girl I don't even know to become Emperor. And my father can make sure that that happens. That's a cynical way of looking at, like, marriage, I suppose. But you've also got to take into the fact that he's nobility in an empire where nobility is everything. I need to go back to Zoltan, but I'm going to fast travel. There's a fast travel point down here.
You're a vulgar one.
You're a vulgar one. Can see it in your face. I do like the random whores walking around talking about that kind of stuff. Right here. Gate of the Hierarch. We're sitting about 20-ish minutes. However, I'm going to keep going. Oop. See if I can get this kind of story arc done. Would be nice.
Ah, you're back. You met Poppy? She ought to start talking any day now.
Zoltan. Venture to say a mage would have trouble turning that owl into a parrot.
Sure you know me that well? Mark my words, she'll be playing Gwent with us in no time. But we want to talk about Dandelion. So, how'd you do? Learn much?
Tell me what you've got first.
A few bruises and a torn doublet. Otherwise, not much of note. He wasn't staying with any of them. I'd not seen hiding or hair of him in ages. All I learned was a few of Dandelion's pickup lines. Of dubious worth.
Let's hear him. I'm all ears.
I know how he wooed a lass studying natural history. Asked her about the habits of trolls. You know where he went with the cook from the Passiflora? The Oxenfurt-Novigrad Road, which is just now being repaired. He had us there for hours as labourers crushed boulders into cobblestones, trying to pass it off as a romantic outing. I don't know about human woman, but that would bore a dwarven lass to tears. He's growing old, that poet of ours.
Maybe. Or maybe he did all that for a reason.
Sounds like you found something out.
Indeed.
Women on my list hadn't seen Dandelion in a while. All claimed he had been acting strange. Also mentioned he'd been seeing someone else. Thing is, Mystery Woman wasn't on my list.
What's she supposedly like, this lass?
Blonde, from Kovir. A Troberitz, apparently, named Kalinetta or something like that.
That makes it clear as crystal. It's Priscilla. Aye. Must be her.
Who's this Priscilla?
A Troberitz, like you said. Quite popular of late. Picture Dandelion with a pair of tits and you've got the general idea.
Interesting image. So how'd Dandelion handle meeting his female double?
I think he fell in love.
What can I say? Could be he finally met his match.
She's his match, all right. Maybe more. The laddie's head's on fire. Lassie's got him whirling.
All right. Guess we gotta talk to her.
Priscilla works with a mummers troupe. Reynard and the Foxen. Whenever they're in town, she performs nightly at the Kingfisher.
Mean we've been sentenced to an evening of poetry?
Must you always? This'll be true poetry, Geralt. You'll see.
Interesting note about this owl is that its shackle is an odd green kind of color, which is interesting. There's only a few metals that are that kind of color.
How are you keeping, Bobby? Miss your Sultan, your old god? The plague.
I'm not going to say more because spoilery shit, but
Willows. Sits in the area 2 days later.
it is a point that you can actually notice fairly early. Those of you who have played this will actually know what I'm talking about, but
Save me.
in any case, we're going to go to the Kingfisher, which is in the main square.
So, how'd it go with this healer?
Pretty easy to get there.
Minding my own business when suddenly...
Also, it's 4 AM. It's very light for 4 AM. I've always thought of that about The Witcher. Wherever their universe is, or their planet is, it gets light very, very early. I think it's like up here and to the right. Also, I need to check this, apparently. I'll read through all of them. Important. Do not fondle the merchandise. Fondled goods must be purchased by the fondler, the City Council of the Free City of Novigrad. Beware, there's a swindler about. Fair Novigradians, let it be known far and wide that Klaus Fetterling is a liar, a fraud, and a swindler. The miraculous hair-growing formula he sells is nothing more than well water from the bits, dyed with a modicum of lilac extract. The only effect imbibing this concoction is likely to bring about is a debilitating case of diarrhea, which will keep you running to the outhouse day and night. A fact which I had the dubious pleasure of learning through first-hand experience. Therefore, if this shameless cheat should pay a visit to your domicile, pay nothing and instead tell him to go suck down his own remedy. Volker, I should say. Wanted, Triss Merigold. Eyewitness testimonies confirm that Triss Merigold of Maribor, known as the 14th of the Hill, a member of the infamous Lodge of Sorceresses, is currently in residence in our fair city. Anyone in possession of information about her place of hiding, plans, or accomplices is obligated by law, both divine and human, to report to the nearest outpost of the Temple Guard at once, and whoever helps the witch by giving her food or shelter shall burn alongside her. The 14th of the Hill is referring to, I think it was the Battle of Brenner, if I remember correctly. The name could be wrong, and the place could be wrong. But essentially there was a bunch of sorceresses, and she was the 14th on the hill, and she was raining fire down on the enemy. Killed a lot of people, and I think it actually had a fairly big effect on her. She slightly scarred by it, I think. Because she's one of the few who didn't want to be there and fighting like that. Beware of thief. Sunday last, someone broke into the merchant Gin Longboardy's cellar. Gin or gin? Gin, I suppose. Taking off it a barrel of triple mead. Around the time of the break-in, witnesses saw a thin, bald man rolling a barrel down the street and giggling to himself. The thief was also noticed to be singing a rude song in which he called himself Odrin. If anyone knows the perpetrator's current whereabouts, they are asked to contact the injured party immediately. Another Odrin quote. Festival of Nilfgaardian culture cancelled. It pains me to inform you that in light of recent events, the decision has been made to call off our planned Festival of Nilfgaardian Culture, Ambassador Atra. I guess that makes sense. I guess it's kind of a shame. They obviously have like some kind of parade or something showing off like Nilfgaardian cuisine and that kind of stuff, but it would be hard to do when you're currently kind of at war. Like Novigrad technically isn't at war with them, but it's kind of. Beware. Haunted house and cheating merchant. To all upstanding residents of Novigrad, hark the words of warning of a loyal fellow townsman. Do no business with the blackguard de Yonkir. Though his line is held in high esteem and considered honourable, he himself is a swine and a cheat. He sold me a residence of a most attractive price, knowing all the while the house was haunted. There can be no thought of inhabiting it, for an evil spirit torments all who set foot therein. For now, the ghost contains itself with rattling and prankings, but who knows what foul deeds it will turn to in time. Let then anyone with half a bit of wit about them stay far away from said home and never make a deal with any sorts with the defrauding de Yonkir. Interesting. De Yonkir was the one. This is Corrine Tilly's house. Well, not Corrine Tilly's house. Sarah's house, where Corrine Tilly was being held captive. But de Yonkir was the guy out the front. So obviously he sold the house, even though it was haunted. Which, I mean, I can't entirely blame him for, I suppose. Also, if we go back there, there'll be a new thing there. Haunted house, there we go.
My wife won't believe me when I tell her.
After sundown, eh? It's 4 AM. I did not mean to take a Thunderbolt potion. What do you mean I can't meditate now? I guess I'll meditate outside then, fine. What's the time? 7 PM, that should be fine. Yep.
Here already. Come on, let's find some arse rests. Should start soon.
It's a good name for a seat right there. An arse rest.
These scars long have yearned for your tender caress, to bind our fortunes. Damn what the stars own. Rend my heart open, then your love profess, a winding, weaving fate to which we both atone. flee, my dream come the morning. Your scent, berries tart, lilac sweet. To dream of raven locks and twisted, stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep. The wolf I will follow into the storm to find your heart, its passion displaced by our ever-growing, hardening into stone, amidst the cold to hold you in a heated embrace. You flee, my dream come the morning. Your scent, berries tart, lilac sweet. To dream of raven locks and twisted, stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep. I know not if fate would have us live as one, or if by love's blind chance we've been bound. The wish I whispered when it all began, did it forge a love you might never have found? You flee, my dream come the morning. Your scent, berries tart, lilac sweet. To dream of raven locks and twisted, stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep.
I know him! 'Twas him murdered some Temerian boys back in White Orchard.
Silence, woman. We've come to hear music.
A murderer?
There's a war on. Some die.
Oh, please, argue this out elsewhere.
Squabbles and rows again. And I was told this was a decent establishment.
If I know Geralt, he risked his noggin to save someone else's arse.
Save, you say? He murdered folk.
Don't let him provoke you.
There's the door. Settle this outside.
Come. I wish to listen to music. Music!
Cultural capital of the world? The fuck it is.
That was the innkeeper from White Orchard.
Permit me to introduce this here's Priscilla, known also as Calinetta, as lovely as she is talented. And this
is Geralt of Rivia, I know. Dandelion's told me a great deal about you, and I've listened with bated breath. Don't be surprised. After all, doubt I could think of a more fitting subject for a ballad than a witch's love for a sorceress. Or should I say, sorceresses.
Seems Dandelion was meticulous in telling my story, down to personal and insignificant details. Did he offer anything about himself, like where he was going?
Splendid. Very funny, truly. So, see you later. Not here. Come with me.
There a reason for all this sneaking around?
An excellent one. When last I saw Dandelion, he told me he was planning a heist. Siggy Reuven's vault.
sheepdip.
and I've not seen him since.
Dandelion breaking into a vault. I'd sooner expect him to choose a life of celibacy.
True. Forgot to pay for his wine at the Passaflora once. And laid awake the next 3 nights worrying about it.
Any idea what got into him? He have debts he needed to pay off?
Claimed he was helping someone. Urgent matter that couldn't wait, he said.
This someone, Dandelion mentioned their name?
No. But if I know Dandelion, it's her name he failed to mention. As he failed to mention her slender waist and ample bosom.
Reuven. What's he like?
Tall, fat, dangerous as hell.
Limp in his gait. Left leg.
Sounds like a lame rock troll.
If trolls were devilishly intelligent and had a flair for crime, yeah, I'd agree.
Let me guess. Attempted heist was a failure.
Well, he's not driven up in a gilded carriage laden with jewels, so I should think so. I've asked after him everywhere, but it seems an army of tongue-stealing cats has overrun the city. I learned only that he raised a ruckus at Whoreson Jr.'s lair. Then Whoreson's men chased him all over town.
Whoreson Jr. Doesn't ring a bell.
Biggest prick in Novigrad. Not literally, but...
Got it. You're not a fan. But what did he do to you?
Try the whole town. He's one of 4 bosses who control the city's underworld. The others being Siggy Reuven, Carlo the Cleaver Varese, and the King of Beggars.
The rascal. At least he didn't cross the church as well. Bring that venerable institution into it. We'd be in deep then.
Damn it. Hope Dandelion gets out of this alive.
And in one piece. Know what they do to bards? Break their fingers or tear out their tongues. Or both.
Relax. I'll get him out of this. Gotta talk to this Whoreson first. And Siggy Reuven. Know where I might find them?
I don't know about Whoreson, but Reuven runs a bathhouse. Careful, though. He's a dangerous character.
So am I.
I don't doubt it. But Dandelion's not. I beg you to hurry. Let me know as soon as you learn anything.
Clearly actually cares for him.
Well, I've got bugger all to do here. Heading back to the Rosemary. Got Poppy to feed. And then I suppose I'll wait. See if our warbler don't come home on his own. Take care now.
So that song that she was singing was clearly about me and Yennefer. Which is interesting for a few reasons. Most notably is the fact that clearly Dandelion has told her everything. Either Dandelion told her everything or Dandelion wrote the song. Although I have a sneaking suspicion that Dandelion just told her a bunch and then she wrote the song. But that's going to be it for today's episode. I'm going to take this water. That's going to be it for today's episode. Next episode we're going to go and find Siggy Reuven. And see if we can do some investigating on that front. But thanks for watching and I shall see you next time. Bye.